You make a bow.
Welcome back to Timeless Retreat. I think it's time we start fighting some dragons, but there are some preparations we have to do first. I needed some more enchanted gear if I was going to defeat a dragon. To kick things off, I crafted some emerald armor. And I fear I look like a turtle.
I like turtles. All right.
Emerald gear wasn't going to be enough to fight these dragons though. And I did not have anywhere near enough levels to enchant anything, to be honest. So I scrambled around doing everything I could think of to get XP. I harvested my crops, bred my animals. So now we have our first babies. But eventually I gave in and landed on the idea of mining. So into the mines I went. I extended my current mine and dug down to Y level 16, which is supposed to be the best for iron. From there, I started to strip mine, and very shortly after, found a cave with visible diamonds, so I couldn't pass up this opportunity. So I decided to drop in and do a bit of mining in the cave. Of course, I wasn't alone in the cave, but I wasn't gonna let that get in my way. Everything went smoothly for a while. I got quite a bit of iron, made my way down to the diamonds I originally saw, and even found some more. It was a small cave for sure, but I found a fair amount of spoils and I couldn't really complain. Life was great and I had 30 levels. That was until I didn't and I lost everything to a pair of skeletons. Don't be like me. Use a shield, kids. So back to the mines we went to go retrieve my body and restart the XP gathering. In no way was I going to stay in this cave. Caving was just not for me today. So I went back to strip mining and went in the opposite direction. It wasn't long before I died again. Shields are a great invention, you should use them. So back to the mines. Again. For whatever reason, I didn't let that deter me. And don't worry, I finally crafted a new shield. I wasn't about to die a third time. After a bit though, I was over the mines and just resurfaced. I came to the conclusion that harvesting my crops is going to be the best method for me to get XP to enchant all of my gear. So that's what I primarily stuck to. And of course, I still did everything else I could possibly do while my crops grew.
Yeah. Pop in, burning like this, ain't checking my wrist. Third is my shift. Rolling all night like flex, we look at the clips, these credits are lit. Stacking miles, I'm falling.
I could not figure out the crafting recipe for a bow to save my life. I literally had to give in and use JEI, like that's bad.
How the you make a bow?
My white shelves just deleted themselves from the game entirely. Side quests called me. And maybe I was a little bored of harvesting endless amounts of crops. So I started playing with some of the fossils and archaeology mod. I crafted an analyzer and just threw whatever I had in there. And after sitting here forever, also bored, we found our first dinosaur DNA. We ended up with a total of 5 pieces of DNA. And we started getting some figurines as well, and I found out you can restore them, so I did a little bit of that too. But I had to go back to the grind and harvest more crops. Thanks to my awesome boyfriend's donation of some wither bones, I was able to make a dragon bone bow instead of just a regular bow. And don't worry, I struggled with the crafting of this one too, just in a different way. After literal hours, I had a decent set of enchanted gear so we could fight these dragons. At Parker's base, I discovered his hidden nether portal room, which I thought was pretty neat. And off we went to the nearest dragon. Which, of course, was a million blocks away. But does that surprise anyone? We found a Cyclops on our way and decided it was his time to go. He wasn't too hard to kill at all. He dropped his eye, which I let my boyfriend keep because he wanted it, and he would probably put it to better use anyways. We made it to the first dragon and realized we were definitely over-prepared. Like, this Cyclops might have been harder, which is really strange.
Oh, that was so easy.
I ran back home and grabbed some bottles, and after harvesting his body, we made our way to a second dragon. We defeat this dragon really easily as well.
Oh my god, it's lightning.
I feel like it usually doesn't go this smoothly, but I'm not gonna complain. The next step was finding the large underground dragon nests, but that's gonna be rather difficult with the sparse structures mod, so we left things here for now. I went back to my basement and started digging out space to expand my lab. Since we had some DNA, I wanted to make a culture vat to hopefully start getting some eggs as well. It will be a while until we use them. I need to at least figure out enclosures for the pets I already have before I start building dinosaurs a space. I kept everything in this room in the same style as the main part of the lab. I made some reinforced glass and put it around where the culture vat would be in case we had any phalosauruses. At least I think that's what they're called. I really did not want them getting out and destroying everything. I don't know if they actually could, but I don't want to risk it. And everything is behind iron doors because I'm scared of the dinosaurs. What's a building project if you don't run out of materials halfway through? Now that I had enough materials, I finished putting up the walls. I even crafted some buttons for the doors. Now that that's sorted, I finished up the floor for the new section of the lab. I kept the block palette the exact same as the main room, but I didn't inlay the diorite bits so I could place more things on the floor in a more cohesive manner. And like the rest of my builds, I threw some light blocks in the corners to make sure everything was properly lit. I put the first dinosaur DNA into the culture vat, and we had our first potential egg. While I waited for that, I started putting up shelves, which I eventually changed to oak wood instead. And some more in the actual culture vat room to store our dinosaur DNA. We officially have our first egg. Of course, we needed a sign to keep people out. Who knows what could happen when you're trying to resurrect dinosaurs? I spent some diamonds on an uncrafting table, which does exactly what it sounds like it does, uncrafts things.
All you need is a little bit of confidence. Sometimes just a little bit of self-respect. Now it's my time to
I moved my bookshelves from my waystone area to my enchanting area. And finally, I put up shelves for our figures we got.
I knew you'd never be mine. Never. It's just
That's all I have for today's episode. I apologize for the shorter episode. I had hours of footage and most of it was incredibly boring clips of me grinding XP, and I wasn't going to subject you to more of that than I had to.